Now, beginners, or even trumpet players that are just beginning for the first time, this goes for directors too. Do not ever, because I always see a lot of students in the years I've been teaching, and I hate to say it, but even directors too, I've seen them do this. They just shove it in. Don't do that. You're going to destroy the shank over time if you keep doing that, and you're going to destroy the opening of that rod that leads all the way through each of the valves. So what we want to go ahead and do is take the mouthpiece and twist it in, just like so. And you'll know when it's enough because you'll actually feel it stop, just like so. Don't shove it in, twist it in, just like so. Now, let's go ahead and be sure that we're reviewing over our fingerings again. Right hand placement. 1, 2, 3, pinky, and of course, first and second valve, thumb. Should look like this with our curved fingers, yes. Then, we're going to take our left hand. We're going to place our thumb in the thumb holder, ring finger into the second valve, and of course, the rest of our 2 fingers are going to be placed around the third valve, and here we go. Now, whenever we do pick up our trumpets, sometimes I do see this, or sometimes I do see this, or sometimes I see this. I'm going to leave it up to you to guess which you think is the appropriate placement for when you start to play trumpet. And in case you don't know, be sure you check with your director, or watch me. As you're sitting up straight, back is going to be straight, feet are flat on the floor. Your trumpet is going to be in the rest position. As soon as your director calls you to attention, boom, just like so. Watch again. The hands will come up when the director is ready, boom. And you see how it just connects, just like so. Sometimes it'll take some time to get adjusted, but the more and more you keep practicing in the mirror or by yourself, it'll just come naturally. Now I know, you're all waiting. Let's go, let's get playing, let's get playing. All right, so let's begin. So remember how I told you to think about that favorite dish of yours that you love to eat? Inhale. Be sure these anchors in the corners of your mouth are set. Be sure that this chin is flat. Now, let's go ahead and take our instrument. We're going to bring it up. Be sure that the rim and the bottom lip are meeting each other. So here we go. Just like so. Now, we're going to go ahead and breathe in using the smelling of whatever favorite dish it was. Be sure you curve your fingers. And then push out and see what note you can get, just like so. 1, 2. In this case, that was an open G, or as we like to say in concert pitch, a concert F. Now, some of the students may get a different note, directors, even you may get a different note. It doesn't matter. As long as you can hear a nice clear sound. How do you know if you're doing the nice clear sound? Once again, the anchors in the corners of your mouth should be set. They shouldn't be moved around as much. Keep that chin open. And of course, open up those teeth. Because whenever we do play, this is what we seldom see. Sometimes that might not help. Or rarely that ever does help. So what we want to do, open the teeth a little bit more. Or as I like to say to my woodwind players, drop the jaw for lower notes. In this case, this concert F is pretty high. So what we want to go ahead and do is keep these corners nice and tight, slightly, a little bit, not too much, of teeth open. And let's see if this works this time. So here we go. Mouth placement or embouchure placement. Bring it up. And we're going to do our and then push. 2 counts of breathing, 2 counts of the and then push. So here we go. 1, 2, just like so. Now, Directors, you might have a different way of starting your students on which note you want them to be on, but we're going to go ahead and introduce them to our E. In this case, the trumpet's E. In case you're wondering which one's the E, if you're looking at the treble clef, it's going to be the very bottom line of the treble clef. Every good burger deserves fries. E is right there. In this case, E is going to be 1 and 2, which is the third partial of our A series. So, here's the thing. E and D, E being the third partial of A, and D being the third partial of G, are always going to be sharp. E not so much, but as I said earlier, D big time. So guess what? That's where the E slides come into play. And of course, at the discretion of the director, if the director thinks you're too sharp, again, he may have you pull out or push out. If he thinks it's too flat and you may need to come back in, that's where you're pushed in. But in this case, E and D are naturally going to already be sharp. So when we try an E, this time I'm going to face this way so we can actually see the placement. So here we go. Now, D, be sure you're curving your fingers. E is going to be 1 and 2. And here we go. We're going to do 2 counts, we're going to do 4, let me rephrase myself, 4 counts preparatory breathing, but on the last 2 beats, you're going to form your So here we go. 1, 2. Now again, if you have perfect pitch, students or directors, you may already tell yourself, okay, maybe that was a little too sharp. So in this case, you can do 1 or 2 things. You can adjust by pushing out on these slides, or drop the teeth a little bit more. It's a bad habit. Sometimes when we start playing trumpet, our teeth are always wanting to come together. That's where we need to start training ourselves to just open up those teeth a little bit more. So let's try it again. 4 counts and we're in. Don't forget about your position and a flat breath. Here we go. And 5, 6. Now, we're going to take 2 half notes. We're going to go from E to D, the third partials of both A and the G series. A, and then the G series, E and D. Now remember, D is always going to be slightly sharp. So that's where you guys have to start guesstimating whether or not it should be pushed out a little bit or whether you need to drop your teeth a little bit to get a good sound. So here we go. We're going to play them in half notes, 4 preparatory counts, and we're in. So here we go. 1, 2. Let's try that again. 4 counts and we're in. 1, 2. If you guys were able to get those notes and you were able to get them as clear as possible with fast, warm air going through each of these rods and valve all at the same time, you're on a good start. If you haven't been able to get a good sound yet, don't worry. It does take time. Coming from a woodwind player, it takes time. Now we're going to move up on the scale. So we already did E, which is the bottom line in your treble clef, and then we went to D, which is below the bottom line. Now we're going to go from E to F. Now F is going to be our first valve. And you don't have to worry about the first or second valve or open. Any note that you play that's open, or if it has a first or a second, they're always going to be okay tunings. Maybe you might have to adjust just a little bit, but majority of the time they should be okay. So what we're doing is we're going from E, 1, 2, to F, which is 1. So here we go, 4 preparatory counts, and 1, 2. Now, did you see how I messed up? It's okay. It's going to happen. We're not perfect. We all make mistakes. That's why we just keep practicing. Let's try that one more time in half notes. And 1, 2. Now let's try the combination. We're going to go from E to D, back to E, then F. So we got 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1. You can practice on a pencil, or you can, if you have your instrument in front of you, you can practice right then and there. So here we go. We're going to go from E to D, E to F. Here we go. 4 counts. 5, 6. Now, why did that squeak happen for me? If the squeak didn't happen for you, hey, awesome. Why did it happen for me? Once again, maybe I was not opening up my teeth that much. Or it could be something with the slide placements as well. In this case, for E and D, it could happen for slide placements. But for F, it really shouldn't happen. But be sure that your teeth are open. You don't want them too open, but you want them open enough to where you're getting a nice clean sound. So let's try that again. That same combination. 1, 2. Now, we're going to finish off with our next 2 notes. We're going to go from E, D, C, which is open. Now remember what I said. An open position for an open C is going to be okay tuning. So once again, 1, 2, 1, 3, open. And then we're going to go back up. 1, 3, 1, 2, F. And then this time we're going to add in our open G. Notice how open G and open C, it just gives it away. Open. No fingers pressed down, no vowels pressed down. Open. G and C. So watch again, and you can even finger along if you want to. We're going to start on E again. E, D, C, D, E, F, G. Try it again with me. I'm going to take it a little bit slower. E, F, C. Whoopsie! See? Just wondering if you're staying on your toes. Let's try that again. So we're going to go E, D, C, D, E, F, then G. And if you guys want, you can go ahead and pause this video too and practice on yourself before moving along. So here we go. We're going to do everything all together. This is all 5 notes of your concert B flat scale. Here we go. And 5, 6. If you were able to get it, excellent job. If not, it's okay. Let's try that again. Here we go. 1, 2. And yes, I just cut you guys off. Now, do you guys notice what I just did right now when I got to that open G? See how that happened? That's a sound that we don't want to do. We want to be able to lift up that note. How do we lift it up? Now, what I did when I cut off that note, I just let my embouchure go like that. That is one thing you don't want to do. And I guarantee you do that in front of your director. Be prepared for all hell to break loose. At least that's how we do it here in Texas. Now, how do we lift up that note? Watch carefully. Now that time, I didn't really do it that well. What I did was I just closed my lips together and then cut off the note. When you cut off the note, you're not really making a bad sound, but it just sounds awkward when you do so. So let's try that again. There you go. If you were able to get it that time, great. If not, once again, we encourage you just to keep practicing over and over. You chose trumpet for a reason. It's one of the most popular instruments out there. Most of my friends are trumpet players. And I can guarantee you right now, some of them have moved on to very, very establishing careers as a trumpet player. And it's got them all over the place, not just here in the great state of Texas, but also all over the world. Stay tuned, we're going to see about our French horn now.